So this is the LG CineBeam Q. It's a 4K laser projector which delivers an incredible image. This is on a 100-inch screen and it looks absolutely fantastic. But it's also very small and very portable. This is how big it is compared to a standard size iPhone. Quite incredible. And you can take this anywhere and project against anything because it delivers a super sharp image even when you're projecting it against your kitchen cupboards. Let's take a closer look. Don't forget to hit the red button to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up and click the notification bell to get my next video first. Now the first thing that everybody is going to notice is the retro design, and I think it looks absolutely stunning. It's unlike pretty much anything else on the market at the moment, and it's got a very good build quality. It's very simple to operate. It's a simple power cable. There's one HDMI port and a USB-C port, and then you have the power button. Now the clever thing about this design is the handle stroke stand. It's all incorporated in one mechanism, and this means that you can take this anywhere, you can position it in almost any position, and with its smart technology built in, which I'll show you in just a second, it means that you can get an amazing screen no matter where you're projecting it. The remote for the CineBeam Q is similar to the Magic Remote. There is no backlight sadly, but it does have quick access buttons on it. It's perfectly functional. The USB-C port on the back of the projector can be used to power the device, which means that you can literally take this anywhere. Now LG recommend a screen size up to 120 inches, which is definitely doable, but also it will go a lot smaller than the recommended. They say between 50 inches and 120, whereas in my test I got 28 inches very easily pin sharp, and as you can notice from this, as you move the projector, it will automatically use auto keystone and corrective technology to straighten the image up and make sure that it's always looking good. So if you are using a big screen, then it's advisable to position the projector as close to being in the right place as possible, but it does have the ability to have manual correction as well. And again, you'll notice as I'm moving the projector, it will automatically adjust the screen to make sure that it's straight. But once you've got it in the right place and you need to find the edges of the screen, then you just need to go into the installation wizard, and that's very, very simple to do. There's lots of options in here. You've got edge adjustments where you've got either 4, 9 or 15 point, and you can go in and just drag the edges to get the screen size perfect for what you want. Now this doesn't have to be used on the screen. You can do this no matter where. If you want to avoid a doorway, for instance, you can just drag the screen to the right size. There's also electronic focus, and again that is very simple to operate. Having WebOS built in is definitely an advantage, and it's something which I do really like about the LG projector range. It follows on from their TVs. All of the apps are there and they all work. There isn't any problem with licensing. Everything works out of the box, and it does mean that you don't have to have something connected to this. So you've got that HDMI port, and there is only one, and that can sometimes be a problem if you haven't got all of your apps working. But here you've got them all working. You can edit them in the same way you can with the TV and move them to exactly where you want. There's a few new features like the LG drawer as well, where you can set a room mood, and I've had a little play with that, but I wasn't too successful. There is mirroring as well, so you've got AirPlay 2 built in, and so all of your photos and videos from your phone can easily be streamed directly to the TV. And because it's WebOS, it's got a very similar settings screen, and here you can go in and adjust the brightness and also the other settings like you can on a TV. As with the TV, you get various different picture modes, from vivid to filmmaker mode for instance, and you can go in and choose the one which suits you best. And I'll show you a few of those in just a second when we get something up on the screen. But it's very nice to see something which is familiar, and you've got all of the similar controls like you would do with an LG TV. Okay, it's about time we showed you some more images, and one thing that I would say is that the picture quality on this projector is absolutely amazing, providing you're in a pretty dark room. This is just only 500 ANSI lumens, and so therefore you are limited to the amount of light that can be in your room to get a decent picture. The smaller the screen, the brighter and sharper the image, as you would expect, but I found that even on my 100-inch screen, and this is done during the day and you can see there are some lights on in the room, it still delivered a pretty smart picture. Now obviously being restricted in brightness does mean that when you have got the blinds open you are going to see a little bit more of a washed out image, but it's not terrible. It's definitely not as good, but as you can see I've got the blind wide open, it's in the middle of the day and I'm still getting a okay image at 100 inches, and so that's something for you to bear in mind. But I do have to say, in a darker room and later in the day, it definitely was quite surprising how good this image was. It really did pop off the screen. I think the thing that impressed me most was the vividness and the sharpness of the colours, and with 154% of the DCI P3 colour gamut, that probably isn't surprising. But even video that I took myself like this when I was in Dubai recently look crisp and sharp, and the contrast at 450,000 to 1 definitely helps with the black levels, and therefore in the right conditions this does a really good job of the contrast between the colours and also the blacks, and so you're not getting such a washed out image that you do sometimes see on other projectors. So who is this projector for? Well, I think it's going to be for someone that wants to be able to watch big screen movies in really good quality 4K in a darker room, on a large screen, or even on a large wall. It projects really well onto a wall. But it's also for someone that's going to want to take this and just put it in a different room, for instance a bedroom, a kitchen, just projecting it against a wall where it's going to deliver a quite surprisingly good image. Now this is a perfect little device if you're going to be traveling. If you've got a USB battery pack that you can get this working with, then definitely this is one to take traveling with you, because you can have that big screen no matter where you are. But if you want to project onto a wall, onto a ceiling, it is going to look absolutely fantastic. Now with projectors, it's not always just about the image, it's about the noise of the fan and also the sound quality too. The noise level of this projector isn't too bad. It had a room reading without it being on of around 25 decibels, and this peaked to around 40 decibels when it was full running. Now when we're talking about sound, that is probably the only thing that I've really found is a disappointment with this projector. As you would expect, a projector of this size is very small and it only has a 3-watt mono speaker built in, which is a little bit disappointing. However, it does have the option to link this to Bluetooth for surround sound if you've got a compatible device, and you've also got HDMI ARC. Now I hooked this up to my PS5 and I was pleased to see that it does have the game optimizer settings. Now obviously this is limited to the actual projector, and so it won't do 4K at 120Hz for instance, but it does give you all of the same features, which is a nice touch. So my friends, it's important to remember that this is a 4K projector, which is smaller than an iPhone, which is quite incredible. I would have liked to have seen it have maybe one extra HDMI port and a 3.5mm auxiliary port, but maybe that will come on the next version. But this literally can be taken anywhere, pointed anywhere, and deliver a crystal clear, pin sharp image. And it's got that WebOS built in, so it's everything in one tiny package. That's it for me on this video, my friends. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the next video.